Hi, welcome to After Dark with Dr. Mike. I'm Dr. Michael Coots, and the man behind the machine is here, Mr. Marty Munez. How you doing, Marty?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Sounds like it.
Doing good. Tonight we're going to talk about marijuana, pot, ganja, whatever else you want to call it. It seems to be one of the most prevalent things in America right now. And just to start the show off the right way, Marty, I want you to give us the lowdown on how many presidents of the United States of America smoked dope.
Okay. Well, this all started when we were talking about Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
And there's an old quote saying that he used to smoke that sweet Mary Jane or that sweet marijuana or that sweet hemp.
That's what it was.
That's right. While playing his Hohner harmonica, which is not true. It's not true. In fact, he was kind of a stick in the mud, actually. In fact, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Abraham Lincoln, Mary Todd Lincoln, was never allowed to call him Abraham.
Really?
I don't know if you were aware of that. She always called him Mr. Lincoln. That's right. So that should give you a little bit of information into the state of mind of Mr. Lincoln himself. He was a very proper kind of person.
Or dominance and submission.
Well, that too. Tomato, tomato. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
So, looking back, there was an article online. I think it was with High Times. I do a lot of interesting reading now since hanging out with you.
High Times, good.
And there were a few things. They said that definitely Abraham Lincoln, that part was not true. But they did list a bunch of presidents that had indeed smoked marijuana, that there was no doubt in their mind.
Well, a lot of them wrote about it. They put it in their memoirs.
Absolutely. In fact, two of the presidents that did that were, believe it or not, George Washington, the father of our country.
Yeah.
In fact, he specifically wrote about where he planted the hemp away from the normal hemp that was used for rope and for cloth.
Yeah.
He had mentioned that he had removed the males and just kept the females. And I guess to those in the marijuana community, that's how you can tell that they're going for a higher THC content.
Yeah.
And so...
but I think it's more like a metropod... whoa, my mind just shot off for a second. It's not really a pot community anymore. It's more like a pot metroplex.
Right.
So,
especially in Colorado.
Oh, hell yeah.
So George Washington talked about removing the males and separating the females. Of course, he had tooth pain, and so he was smoking that sweet hemp for tooth pain. But besides George Washington, it was also Thomas Jefferson.
Yep.
James Madison.
Oh, yeah.
Also Franklin Pierce and Andrew Jackson.
I know Andrew Jackson did something. That dude was out there.
In fact, I think both Pierce and Jackson had smoked marijuana with the troops. So, hey, their commander-in-chief was hooking it up with the troops. And that was back when, I guess, the troops could do that because there were no laws against it. So
no, there wasn't. But even in modern times, Clinton, he ate marijuana. He was into edibles. He did it. And Obama smoked it.
That's right.
I think Bush did too, but
yes,
I think Bush was into a lot of other stuff too, though. I mean, I'm not saying like Bush was an acid head or something. No, I'm just saying he did a lot of snort. Eric Clapton cocaine song was his favorite, I think. But weed and beer and stuff, and then whatever, to each their own, I guess. As long as you don't hurt somebody else and people are consenting, I don't really give a shit. But Ben Franklin was into marijuana. I think that's where he got half of his ideas, personally.
Well, also JFK.
Yo,
That's the more notable.
Yeah, but he had so many medical problems. Even though he was one of the youngest presidents in history, that dude had a lot of medical problems.
Oh yeah,
You
a lot
know?
of back pain. A lot of back pain.
Yeah, he was wounded in the war and just a ton of stuff. So I don't blame that dude at all. Man, I'd be smoking if I had all the problems he had at that time. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. So
Not like I would not, but you know.
LBJ no, Nixon no, Gerald Ford no.
But you know, Nixon almost did acid. You know that, right?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane, which became Jefferson Starship, was invited to the White House. And she and her band brought these tins, like aluminum things of LSD. And they were going to dose the president and all the people there just to say, look, expand your mind. But they got caught by the Secret Service. Now, at that time, LSD wasn't illegal. So the only thing they did was throw them out of the White House with their acid.
Wow.
But yeah, she almost. Oh, Nixon! I can see him now. Can you see President Nixon tripping?
No, I think that'd be dangerous.
I say we bomb not only Hanoi but Saigon and Cambodia and China and Germany. You know? tripping big time.
Well, even Timothy Leary said that, it's not for everyone. Well,
No,
at least after a lot of people started doing it, he said that. But he said that there are individuals that are on the edge, and LSD would just kind of push them over. So,
can you see me on acid, man?
yeah, I could probably see you.
I'd be at somebody
doing that.
randomly who I don't even know beating on their door going, "Hi, is your daughter home? I'll have her home early in a bag." You know, I don't think I would do something like that very well. I mean, I've had my share of I probably shouldn't even say this, but peyote. I went to a peyote ritual in Oklahoma, Native American tribe in the Concho Trust lands. Yeah, that was fun. I was talking to turtles. And then the inevitable, hardcore hashish and some interesting things.
Well, I'm just kind of wondering how, after doing a little bit of research, what's really the difference between hashish, hash, shatter, the wax? What's
More potent.
It's
As you go down the line, you have just plain marijuana. You've got indica and you've got sativa. That's your two main kinds. Some people say the third kind is called sinsemilla. I don't know. I've smoked sinsemilla before, but I'm not real clear on the differences in those, except indica. Indica is much more like an opiate. It's much, much more like an opiate. And sativa is a little more mind expanding. I'd say closer to being a pseudo hallucinogen. And so it depends on what you buy and hybrids and stuff like that. But as you break them down, like bubble hash or the wax, it becomes more potent. You're basically breaking it down to the point where the thicker it is, the thinner it is, the more THC. It's like when you do bubble hash, you have 7 filters.
so it's like super marijuana. It's just
Yeah.
marijuana concentrate.
Right. And I'm not saying I ever did this, but, I remember, there, you have 7 filters and you pour it in after you get through processing the marijuana type stuff you want. And it goes through 7 filters. And each filter, as you go down till you get to the bottom filter, is stronger all the way down. And, a lot of people smoke the first filter and they're like, oh, that's just like strong weed. They smoke the bottom filter and they're like, I know I had a good time, but I'm not sure where I was for 3 days, and I had no food left in the house and I had like 6 dudes passed out on the floor, so.
And
Yeah.
who were those people?
Yeah, I've actually done that before, man. Go downstairs in my basement, like, who the hell are all these people? Why are they here? Did I do something? That's normal. I'd rather have 100 people on marijuana or hashish in my house than one drunk. I'm telling you right now. That 100 people, the only thing you have to do is maybe repeat yourself a few times. But you get one wild-ass drunk in your house, and you're going to have to, like, smack his ass with a baseball bat or call the cops. One of the two. I've been through both of those. I remember a funny story, and a lot of people can probably relate to this. I had, like, 8 guys at my house, And we were just sitting there passing a pipe, and we were smoking some weed and smoking some hash. And one of the dudes looked at me and he said, "Hey, Mike." I was like, "What? What's up? What's up?" And he's like, "Def Leppard is coming to Denver next Friday." I was like, "Wow." And all of us were like, "Cool, let's go. Let's get tickets." 10 minutes later, it dawned on me. I looked back at him and say, "Walt, did you know Def Leppard is coming to Denver next Friday?" And he goes, "I heard that, dude. I don't remember, but I heard that." And it was just weird, funny, funny stuff like that, just kind of like, oh, out of it. But, I've never had a friend smoke marijuana and the police show up and say, "Fuck you, cop, blow me." I've had plenty of friends who drink Heineken or Budweiser who did that.
Oh, yeah.
You just kind of step aside and say, "He's all yours, officer." But yeah, it's a whole different world, and I'd rather have pot dispensaries than liquor stores. That's what I'd rather have.
Well, yeah, unless you are the local city council, which just voted that down.
What?
Yeah, it was a horrid vote. Actually, there was only one vote to approve in town retail marijuana.
It's all out in the county, basically.
Yeah,
like Pueblo West and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the city council vote. Only one member of the city council voted to have retail in town.
Well, they obviously haven't been to Colorado Springs or Denver or Fort Collins area because they're right in the heart of town.
Well,
and even Canyon City.
I think that they're also motivated. Who knows? Maybe there are more powerful entities that just came into possession of, permission to do things out in the county, and they don't want things like that to, take away from their newly found opportunities. You never know. It could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Of course. But when you take a look at marijuana as a whole, okay, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and if people don't know who that is and they haven't looked at TV, Dr. Sanjay Gupta was anti-marijuana, completely anti-marijuana, until he took a tour of some university hospitals, children's centers, and some of the providers and things like that were using marijuana for cancer, for seizures, and saw that it really, truly worked. It really was better than any active medication or pharmaceuticals right now, and he became a born-again marijuana believer, okay? And he is now 100% behind marijuana and the use of the medical marijuana for a wide variety of illnesses, diseases, conditions, and problems, chronic pain, anxiety, all kinds of cancers, all kinds of seizures, MS, MD, autism. I mean, you name it, man. And it works. It really does. It's not like Joe Blow says, "Oh, man, I'm a veteran and I got hit in the back in the war and I need to smoke weed and feel better." And you go, "Okay, that's cool." I've never really heard somebody in a lot of pain go, "I need to give me a fucking bottle of Jack Daniels right now and totally swirl out and run into a telephone pole or set fire to myself." I don't see why there's even a problem between marijuana and alcohol. Alcohol, bad. Marijuana, good. Okay? Simple.
Right.
And cigarettes are in there somewhere, but, whatever. I don't think they do anything.
They kill you.
Well, they kill you, but they're not on the same battlefield as pot versus alcohol.
Well, considering no one's died really from marijuana, yet people have died from cigarettes. People have died from alcohol. Well, a lot of people die. Allegedly,
300,000 people a year die from the direct effects of smoking cigarettes. Over 60,000 people die on the highways and traveling as a result of DUIs and DWIs, and another 140,000 die of alcohol-related bodily illnesses that come from excess use, or not even excess use. You don't have to drink that much, really, of liquor to have those kinds of problems. But you're absolutely right. There is no one case legally, medically, any way related to marijuana. They say that the guy in Fort Collins who got high and stepped off of his fourth floor balcony and died was because of marijuana. No, if you read the entire story and see the entire police report, it was because they were doing maintenance on his balcony and had removed the safety gate around the balcony where people stand and lean on it and look out and say, oh, look at the mountains or whatever.
Whoops.
They had taken his down and put up a plastic strip, said it'll be replaced, blah, blah, blah. And he got stoned, went out on his balcony and walked right through it. If it had been properly maintained, he would not have died. Simple. Then the pilot, they said, died of marijuana use. The autopsy showed that, yeah, he had smoked marijuana. He did. But not nearly enough to barely get you high. But he had taken 500 maximum strength Tylenol, and he died of severe acute liver failure.
That'll do it.
And so both of those cases were stretched to the extreme edge of fantasy to say marijuana caused it. No, it didn't. Okay? That's like me stubbing my toe and then accidentally stepping into traffic and getting hit by a bus. They go, well, that table chair or that table leg caused the problem. It killed him. No, I think the fucking bus killed him. Use your head, dumbass. That's how I see it. Yes, I am a doctor. I'm sorry. Those are all appropriate medical and psychological terms, by the way.
Well, there's a lot of financial interest in keeping marijuana demonized, considering you need me to hold on.
No, it's all good.
Considering in antidepressants alone,
oh geez,
Big Pharma makes $500 million per day. Once again, on antidepressants alone, Big Pharma makes $500 million per day.
And we're looking for syndication. Jesus.
So that's $1 billion with a B, $1 billion every 2 days. So that should say it all and why they want to keep marijuana demonized.
Well, how come? Okay, let me gather. Okay, you look at TV every day, and there are new drugs coming out. New drugs. And it's been, let's say it's a 30-second commercial. And this is not an exaggeration. This is a fact. Time it. They spend 5 to 6 seconds telling you what this medication is and what it's supposed to do. Okay? Then they spend about 25, 24 seconds telling you all the horrific side effects this shit has.
Up to and including death.
Yes, up to. And that's not really a side effect, Death is like a final bullshit thing, okay? Like if you die, you're not going to sue. You're dead, okay? Maybe your family can take up your cause. But I like how they say it. It can cause seizures. It can cause deafness, partial blindness. It can cause coma and death. Well, fuck, once you hit death, that's no longer a side effect, is it? That's kind of the end of it all. And then you turn around 6 months later, and these drugs are on the bad drug list.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they killed 100,000 people or 50,000 people or 70,000 people. They're bad drugs. You shouldn't take them. One is like Xarelto. Okay? I take certain medications for heart problems. My oldest brother does too. And a long time ago, I had a doctor who said he's going to put me on Xarelto. Well, my main cardiologist, who I've had for 11 years, said, I was talking to him. I said, well, what about I was actually talking about Viagra and Cialis. Yeah. But I mentioned Xarelto, and he goes, oh, hell no. I said, what? He goes, hell no. Because I would not put you or any other patient on Xarelto. Well, he's in a group with 16 cardiologists. He goes, not one cardiologist in this building gives Xarelto. He goes, it will kill you. You'll bleed to death internally. And within a week it was on the thing, If you've had uncontrolled internal bleeding, severe bruising, nosebleeds that could not be stopped, blah, 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 or death, and then they throw in death again. Once you've had that, you really don't know it's a bad drug anymore because you're dead. But
your family can call this 1-800 number.
And they can actually have your body put in a little whatever. But, you're absolutely right. There's so many drugs coming out on a regular basis. As a practicing forensic psychopathologist, I get the PDR every year, and I get the thing called the drug book, and it just simply is nothing but drugs. And I remember when I first got them, they were about the size of maybe, I don't know, maybe 600 pages long. PDR was maybe 800. I just got the ones for 2015, and it's called the pill book, not the drug book. That's something else. That's personal log. But the pill book is now 1,600 pages long, and the PDR is over 2,000 pages long. I'm like, holy crap, what could you possibly be making and putting out there that much, that often, that this thing just grows exponentially like moss on a pond or something, you know? Right. I mean, you got drugs for drugs, and you got drugs to counter drugs effects. Then you got drugs to counter the effects of the drugs to counter those. And by the time the doctor prescribes one drug, you've got to take 6 drugs.
That's right.
For that one drug to work.
Yeah, and if you think about it, each one of those drugs, hey, that's money. And,
absolutely,
and
it's money.
They don't want cures. They want treatments.
Yeah. Why not get the marijuana that best works? And it is. There's a lot of marijuanas. There's, Afghani indica, Afghani kush, blueberry cough, strawberry cough. There's so many. And each one does something a little different, both in the way it affects you in a quote-unquote high and in the way it affects healing and helping your body. So the only thing you need to do is find out the right one for you and make sure you got your direct TV access to Comedy Central, the Cartoon Network, and the premium movie channels, and you're okay.
Well, and some of these don't even get you high.
No, a lot of them don't, because they have hardly any THC, but a lot of
CBD.
Thank you. I was going to say CBCs, but that was my mind on the centers, but anyway. CBDs that are specifically genetically designed to fight tumors, seizures, blood problems, all kinds of problems. And you're absolutely right. There's plenty of marijuana and marijuana oils out there, and marijuana tar, as it's called, that can be used that doesn't get you high at all. It simply treats diseases. Now, the federal government will probably say, from now on, you can't have THC in marijuana. Because we have a bunch of dumbasses in office. But,
Absolutely. Because if you think about it, these things that are FDA approved kill people.
Yep.
And make Big Pharma all this money. But yet the thing that actually produces results and maybe even a cure, they're not going to even remove it from the, what is that classification?
4.
Yeah, the classification that opiates and
it's
are
called,
in.
Class 4, Title 4, whatever. You have Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, and Class 4. And Class 3 stuff like what Tylox used to be, what Stadol used to be, Demerol, OxyContin, and all that. Then you have 2, which is like Vicodin and Percocet and stuff like that. But 4 is everything they consider to be quote-unquote illegal, And it turns out that many of the things that are considered Class 4 in the pharmacological world, in the drug world, are actually better for you than pharmaceuticals. Opium is in there, pure opium. Pure opium has been used in ancient Greece, ancient Rome, Babylonia, Samaria, in America, all over as a medicine, because it is a medicine. And like most medicines, it can be abused.
Right.
And people was like, I'll take it for this, I'll take it for that, it works for this. There is no greater painkiller than that. But people at the same time can smoke it and just say, I just want to get high. Okay, whatever. The point is that opium is used to make morphine. It's used to make codeine. It's used in several of the cross-hybrid synthetics. And, of course, the one drug that makes it bad is heroin. So, therefore, they go, there you go. That's it right there. Well, I've got 10 things in this hand that it does well that's legal, and one thing in this hand, they go, that one thing's going to keep it legal,
Well, that's also because they're not going to make a lot of money from it.
Of course not. Personally, I wouldn't have any problem people growing their own Oriental poppies or their own marijuana, as long as they're not selling it or something like that, and they use it for their own benefit and their own ailments and stuff like that. People can make beer, they can make wine, they can make liquor. You just go buy a kit and set it up in your house.
But you know what? They can't grow tobacco.
Well, no, tobacco's a whole different ball game. I don't understand that one either. That's under what they used to be called the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and now I think...
Then they were BATF, now they're BATFE.
Okay, sounds like a Batman movie.
Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
Well, okay. I don't know too many people that make explosives and stuff like that, but whatever. They can keep expanding it until they've got 10 initials. The point is that half the shit that they cover, with the exception of terrorist type stuff, is part of the American culture. Guns, ammo, tobacco, and like you said, a multitude of our presidents of the United States smoked weed.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our great philosophers and geniuses and inventors of our time, Edison and Ben Franklin, they all did. Come on. I could spend the next 3 hours just talking about individuals who did it, and presidents and politicians who did it, And then you got the hypocrites, the one that recently said that all people who are government employees or work for the government or got aid from the government or was elected office had to have drug tests.
Mm-hmm.
And he got pulled over by the police and he had a bag of cocaine. And he goes, well, no, I didn't do it. I found it or some crap. And then they made him take a blood test.
That's not mine, officer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a congressman. It's not mine, dude. Somebody was in my car, gave a ride, some hippie dude, and then they made him take a blood test, got a court order, and crap, man, he was full of it.
Oh, yeah.
He had all kinds of cocaine. So you've also got the hypocrites. Sometimes I think those who speak the loudest or scream the loudest about something are the very ones doing it.
Right. Well, considering our commander-in-chief has actually smoked marijuana in the White House.
Which one?
President Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh. I wonder if he did it by himself or he had people sitting around passing it.
I'm not too sure.
Puff, pass?
I'm not too sure, but not only him, but George W. Bush also.
I'd love to see Cheney and Bush fucked up. That'd be like a nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, I think Cheney's deal is booze. I mean, he was pretty lit on alcohol when he shot that guy in the face.
Oh my God, I remember that.
And the guy who he shot in the face apologized to him. That's power, man.
Well, that's not only power. That's when Satan comes up. We were talking about some of the shows we're going to actually film.
Right.
And actually people can watch the shows. We're going to do the Haunted Fire Station that's been on National News. I've been on Sightings. I've been on Discovery Channel. I've been on the History Channel. I've been on ABC's America's Most Haunted. And you and I are starting our own little thing like that. And we're going to do that. And then Red Crags and Manitou, which has had ghost hunters from around the world coming to film and to research that place. And what was we saying the other day? I said if something shows up, some spirit or demon, I'd be like, "You're on, Marty. I'm out of here." But I said something else too, man. My mind's not working too well right now. But I said something to the effect of, "Well, if it's a demon and they want to talk deal or a contract, then we'll work it out. I'll get my lawyer. They can get theirs." And you started laughing about that. I'm not sure exactly where that story was going, but
Oh, are you just putting it out there?
No, I'm putting it out there, but also it had to do with the fact that a lot of the stuff that we're planning on doing here and researching is going to be broad, and it's going to do a lot of this, and we're going to be doing one, hopefully with 2 places here that does grows that we film.
Right.
Marijuana grows, what it's done, how to make all this stuff, and it all kind of rolls into the same thing. And rolling it back around, if I can, we talk about Cheney. Yeah. He's talking about Cheney. I don't know the man. We've never gone fishing together. We never hung out. But reading the stuff he's put out and stuff he's written, things he said, I think he must be like, if this was like a starship of Satanism, he'd be the first officer.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. I think the guy is wicked crazy, and he shot the dude in the face.
Yeah.
And the dude apologized to him.
Yeah.
I guess he was thinking, well, what are the odds here? If I really piss this guy off after he shot me, he might do something worse, so I'm going to apologize to him while my eyeball's hanging out.
Right.
And paramedics are trying to stop my face from bleeding from a shotgun blast. I'm sorry, Mr. Cheney. I didn't mean to be standing in front of your shotgun.
I must have gotten your way.
Yeah. You're goddamn right. You get in my way, it's just going to happen. Come on, man. That's freaky.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you're talking about Cheney kind of sparked me off on a voyage there that finally came back to Doc. So continue.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might have to edit that out.
Which part?
I don't know. I think that might be pushing it a little bit.
Why?
I'm not too sure.
What? About
Can
Cheney?
we prove that he's evil?
Well, evil is subjective. Evil is...
Maybe I'll beep it. I don't know.
People think we're saying he's gay or something.
No,
Cheney is beep.
I'll just beep his name. And then they'll have to put it together that, who's the politician that shot someone in the face and then they apologized?
The
but
victim,
we didn't say it, yeah.
The victim apologized,
Yeah.
not the one who shot.
Exactly. See, then we didn't say it. That's just assumed.
But
I don't know.
Doesn't the Buddhists believe that it's subjective by one's actions is what proven is good or bad, right or wrong, is by action?
Yeah.
And his very actions have been only evil?
I'm trying to think of some good things. I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying to give him equal time here.
Okay. So I say we get a Buddhist monk to come in and talk about it. Then we could probably actually smoke some real opium.
Well, you know what? If Cheney wants to come on the show and tell us how good he is, all the good things that he's done, he's welcome to come on the show, right?
I can imagine. Of course he's welcome to come on the show. Anybody's welcome to come on the show that wants to, that has a valid point. I mean, you're not going to come on here and talk about having sex with barn animals. I don't know. That'd probably be a good show.
No,
but,
I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I can't see the positives in that. I really can't.
Well, I mean, you talk about, well, that's my lifestyle over here, buddy. Okay, whatever. And this is mine over here. But I think Cheney's opening line would probably be, "I'm a good person, you sons of bitches." Oh, thank you for coming on our show, Mr. Cheney. Yeah, fuck both of you. I'm a great person. Yeah, that would work. I could see that happening.
I think we should have him on the show.
He wouldn't come on the show.
If his people want to contact us to come on the show, I'm all about it.
And they'd probably say we have to pay him $100,000 fee or some crap. I'm sorry, you don't get paid to come on the Dr. Mike or the After Dark. Marty just kind of, checks you out, kind of vets you, and then you can come on.
We don't even do that.
Shh,
it's like, hey, you want to come on the show? Yeah.
Okay, so what are you going to talk about? I'm going to talk about stabbing my friend to death with his dead squirrel. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that one. That actually just happened, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. A lady stabbed her husband with a squirrel, a little squirrel that you see in the trees, eating nuts. Well, eating nuts and stuff like that. It was a taxidermied squirrel.
Oh.
And he pissed her off, and she grabbed it off the shelf and stabbed him with it, and it entered into his chest.
Wow.
And the paramedics got there, and there's like a squirrel sticking out this dude's chest. And he died. Death by taxidermied squirrel.
Death by squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's really one for the tombstone there. It's like death by squirrel.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I'm sorry. This brings me around to another story about smuggling animals. It was the dude coming from Brazil that got on a 747, and he had taken 4 howler monkeys. And they're little monkeys. They're pretty small. They're like probably not a whole hell of a lot bigger than a squirrel by any stretch. And he taped them to the insides of his thigh. He had 2 on one leg and 2 on the other on the inside. And he had given them some animal tranquilizer or whatever, but he was afraid to give them too much because they were so little. So while he's on the plane, these 4 little monkeys wake up. And the only thing they have there is his penis and testicles. So they get angry because they're trying to get untaped, trying to get away.
Oh, yeah.
They had to make an emergency landing. I think like they ripped one of his balls off. And that's also can be Googled. That can also be looked up on Huffington Post. And that just kind of reminded me of death by squirrel. You see what I'm saying? See how this fits together?
Wow, death
like
by
a
monkey.
Puzzle. It's like a puzzle, dude.
No, that would be... it's not death by monkey because he didn't die, right? He was just...
Maybe pseudo-castration by monkeys, maybe.
Right. Wow. Monkey castration.
Yeah.
That sounds like a website, doesn't it? Monkeycastration.com.
or cumbarn.com.
Ooh.
Same thing.
Ooh.
Monkey castrate. No. Did you see that on TV the other night on Tosh.0?
No.
He showed the film. It's all over the world. It's this guy. I guess he had mental problems. That's what they're saying. Tosh was explaining it. And he got a rat trap. A big rat. Not a mouse trap, a rat trap. And he set it and locked it. Then he took a cucumber.
Yeah.
And he snapped it, and it cut the cucumber in half. Smashed it. Because it's a rat trap, not a mouse trap.
Right.
Then he reset it, and he stuck his penis in it.
Wow.
Yeah. He wound up in the
Why?
hospital.
Why?
He wanted to see what would happen. And it went viral.
It kills rats. How
Yeah.
could you not know what's going to happen?
Come here, little rat. Come here, little rat. Here you go. Snap. Well, he wound up in a hospital emergency surgery.
Right.
So I imagine it must have damaged his wiener.
I would imagine they probably had to take an inch or two.
And the interesting thing about all this is none of these things we're talking about, from the monkeys to the penis snapping to any of that, has to do with pot. Nobody was high. Nobody was under the influence of marijuana. These were things that were done simply because they wanted to do them.
Right. But, you know, there is a correlation between marijuana and these stories.
Okay, give it to me.
The correlation would be
Me?
possible things that people who are smoking marijuana would talk about.
Well, they might talk about it, they wouldn't
it's
do it.
theoretically possible to where they're sitting in a couch going, "Hey, man, you know, I heard that there's this rat trap, and this dude he put his wang in it. Whoa!" And then someone else would go, "Really? Yeah." You know.
But if you did do that and people were smoking weed, the response from the person listening would be, "What?
Probably, yeah.
What did you just say?" And you'd have to tell the story all over again.
Yeah, they're probably not going to be very coherent.
But that's the best part of it, because it takes away anxiety, stress, panic, takes away pain, takes away all this stuff, and you can sleep really well on it.
Right. Oh, and just for the record, just so that no one is, I don't know, confused about what they're listening to here, neither Dr. Mike nor myself are under the influence of marijuana right now.
No.
This is, we're talking about it. We're not under the influence, so
And
we might kid about it, but we're not doing that right now.
No. And Marty won't give me another brownie either. So
Well, you know, I did buy a really good brownie from the Daily Grind today.
did you?
Yeah.
That's what you put on the net.
It's cheesecake. It's cheesecake and chocolate. It's
Is that
really
what you
good.
put on the net today? Something about coffee?
No, someone else posted that.
Brandy.
Yeah. She posted that.
Okay. I saw that. I was reading it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. But, the Daily Grind has these awesome brownies. You should try them.
I have. I've been down there. I get hot chocolate and brownies, or hot chocolate and one of the other pastries they have. There's some little French ones they have that are really good. If I don't go there, then I go to Starbucks. You know.
Oh, yeah. Their baked goods are really, really awesome.
Yes, they are. They're very good. I'm just wondering, well, like in Denver, you can go into, okay, it's sort of like in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
You can go into like coffee houses
Yeah.
and buy edibles.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that in Denver too.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they have to? I'm sure they have to have a special permit.
Well, you have to have your card, like
Right.
the little card that I carry and stuff like that. It's like a little, it says you have a medical problem and therefore you're eligible, or
Right. You have a prescription.
recreation. Right. And so you can do it, but they don't have that down here. I think somebody told me they had one in the Springs, but I have yet to find anything all about it. But yeah, in Denver you can.
Well, unless Pueblo City Council pulls their collective heads out of their posteriors, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so watch me try and get, someone from City Council
Yeah, I was
on
going
the
to say,
show.
yeah, that's going to work out real well if we ever need them.
Maybe I'll edit that out. No, I won't.
No, you don't need to edit that out. And we have like the ex-police chief, the ex-sheriff. We have the current police chief, the current sheriff. We have members of this various law enforcement that comes on and does shows. When we're doing the radio, they would come on all the time, and the DA, and we talk about, all kinds of stuff, occult investigations, witchcraft, and a lot of writers come on. We do that, and that's what we're actually more about at After Dark. Is that we like to get into the weird, the macabre, the bizarre, and that's what we're building right now. Is Marty is the genius behind all electronics known to man. And when we get that, then we'll actually be more into the, ghost spirits, conspiracy theories, and all the things that we're about, the government, whatever. And right now, there's so many things that are on the plate, like hate and marijuana and religious fanaticism on every end, that we're doing shows about that right now because that seems to be the most prevalent thing in our society right now. And once everybody gets tired of that, like raccoons eating June bugs, pretty soon they get tired and they go to eat other stuff. Then we'll go back into what this was founded for, getting into the weird, strange, macabre. And, when we did shows on the Discover Channel and on Sightings when it was on the History Channel and on ABC, America's Most Haunted, that's all it was about. Conspiracy theories, demons, spirits, the occult, practitioners, witchcraft. And people love that stuff, man. But I'm hoping that you get something out of the prevalent society type stuff that's going on right now. Is that the right way to say that?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Because every time you look right now, you got hate. You've got something about marijuana. And it kind of bugs the hell out of me that so many of our politicians that we put into office, they're not concerned about the hunger. They're not concerned about health. They're not concerned about disease and hospitalization and health care and all that. They're not concerned about homelessness. They're not concerned about war. They're not concerned about the quote-unquote Islamic threat and all these other things. They're more concerned about what two guys do with their penises together, what two women do with their vaginas together, or who's smoking dope, which is 1,000 times safer than drinking alcohol. And I kind of wonder where the hell their priorities are in all this. If I get hit by a car and I go to the hospital, I want medical care and good doctors, good nurses, good medication, good everything to take care of me, not going in there and going, well, we don't have the money for that because these two dudes got married in Denver and they're putting like $5 million into investigating it. Who gives a shit, man?
Right.
Where are the priorities within our government?
They're in their own interests. They're in making sure that they have enough money for their next re-election campaign, that they have enough built up in insider trading to do the things that they want to do and to make sure that their pockets are full and that they have a raise. Oh yeah. Or they'll take something that seems like a good idea, like something like universal health care, which, by the way, our current Affordable Care Act is not universal health care.
I know.
All it is pretty much the equivalent of the Colorado law of making sure that automotive insurance is mandatory. In other words, it's mandatory automotive insurance. So they kind of took that idea, and that's what Affordable Care Act is. It's the mandatory Health Insurance Act, really, is what it is. So even though you couldn't afford it before, now you're required by law to have it. They're not making it affordable. How do you know that they're not making it affordable? Because it's called the Affordable Care Act. As soon as they put a name to it, it's the exact opposite of whatever name that they're trying to put to it. Well, the Patriot Act.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with patriotism. It's about removing your liberties.
Yes.
Affordable Care Act. It's to make insurance more expensive because now you're required by law to have it. And if you don't pay it, if you don't carry it, they will penalize you come tax time.
Absolutely.
So, in other words, you must get insurance and you must jump through those hoops to go get it. And if you don't pay for it, they will penalize you, which has it has nothing to do with you having insurance. You getting insurance, that's what Do you see what I mean? It has.
Oh, yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. You're just forced to carry it.
Well, government doublespeak. That's what you're talking about
Yeah.
here. Because today, when that Amtrak train crashed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was doing 106 miles an hour on a 50-mile-an-hour turn,
Right.
over double the speed. The newsman that was talking to the National Transportation Safety Board chief investigator, and he's standing around with a bunch of other investigators, and the newsman goes, well, the train was obviously exceeding the speed limit by over 50 miles an hour. And the answer was, well, apparently so. We're not sure at this point. Even though everyone has already done it, including the computers on the train, they were still like, well, apparently so. We can't really give you an answer to that. Dude, they've already looked at the computers. They already know. It's okay. You don't have to, flitter it off to some other Never Land and make us go, oh, really? And that's all it is. It's government doublespeak.
They're already trying
Plausible
to
deniability.
minimize their liability.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And trains fall under that. There's a whole division in the government that has to do with nothing but trains. Like the FAA is for airplanes
That's right.
and helicopters and stuff. And then the other one, I can't even think of the name right now, is just for trains. Passenger trains, cargo trains, freight trains, all this type of stuff. And so they're already like, we can't say. Yeah, you can. The computer's already been released for the news. You sure you can.
Mm-hmm.
But plausible deniability.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and they do that all the time. What was that? Flight 800 that was going to France was a perfect example of that. To where, imagine you feeling, I don't know, say you wanted to travel and then you heard, hey, this plane blew up from someone, I don't know, maybe it was a missile. They shot a missile and they shot this plane out of the sky. People aren't going to travel. They're not going to travel. So what happens? No, it wasn't a missile. It was actually debris coming down from the sky. Even though witnesses say, no, it was definitely something coming up from the surface.
Yeah, a lot of people saw that. A lot of people could see it because missiles leave a little trail of propellant behind them.
Exactly.
And they saw it, but I never could understand the debris from above. What the hell? Was there an alien spaceship above them that blew up? Or entered the atmosphere wrong? Or part of Skylab finally came back or something? I don't get it.
Well, they were trying to say that it was actually the debris from the plane itself that was coming down and that people were mistaken of what they saw. That they really didn't see a missile, that they didn't see what they thought they saw.
Then why would there be debris there to begin with?
Exactly.
Like
See,
the plane just fell apart. Oh, we got to shut that door.
But it's really amazing to where when you put logic into something, it's really easy for people to say, you know what, that whole missile being shot up to shoot a plane out of the sky, that makes me feel uneasy. and I really don't like feeling uneasy. And you know what, I really like the fact that the National Transportation Safety Board says that, no, it was this electronic thing and it was just an accident and they're going to fix that and we're going to be safe and we're all just nice and safe and everything's okay and it's all warm and fuzzy.
I don't know, man. It's amazing at what does happen and how little we were actually told about it.
Oh, yeah.
I knew people in the military, high-ranking officials in the military, on Fort Carson, Peterson Air Force Base, NORAD, and Falcon Air Station, which is now called Area 2. I guess it's 49 down from Area 51 or something, who believe wholeheartedly in UFOs, alien beings, and communication with such. Okay? And every time they have these weird, strange lights and things that are found, like the ones they chased in Mexico, the military aircraft chased it in Belgium and France and Germany and England and the United States and Alaska, which is part of the United States, but it's further out there. And Canada, they come back and go, no, that was just something. What, a pterodactyl? A herd of geese? A flock of geese, not a herd of geese. That's when they're on the ground.
Is marsh gas.
Yeah, they say that a lot. If marsh gas is that strong to make you hallucinate like that, I'm going to go camping on a marsh this summer, okay? I want to see what I can see. You know, I like to see some dragons and stuff, but whatever.
No, that was their excuse. And
No, I know.
they actually try to get away with it, but it wasn't because it made you hallucinate.
I know it goes up into the air.
They were
shapes.
saying that it was spontaneously combusting marsh gas. That's what these lights were. You were seeing this marsh gas just spontaneously erupting into these lights. And that's what you saw at doing right angle turns in the sky, not even close to a marsh. But yeah,
cool.
It's a great excuse.
Okay, let's go back again. Let's give another story. Australia and Queensland, one of the biggest golf courses in the world. Beautiful, beautiful place. And this happened just not too long ago, a week and a half ago, I guess. Some of the there's a huge lake on the golf course, and it comes into a little lake, and there's a river next to it that goes the other way. Well, a bunch of golfers came in and said, look, we saw fins. There are fins in that lake. And the people who ran the golf course said, yeah, sure. You've been drinking. You've been out on the hot sun, full of alcohol, having fun. We're blowing it off. More people reported it. So the government stepped in and goes, no, there's no, whatever the hell the Australian accent is. There's nothing in that lake. It's just a lake, And more people reported it. So the university from Queensland came out and went out in a boat. And lo and behold, on their first day out, they found 12 bull sharks,
Sweet.
known man-eaters. These things eat people, and they're one of the most unpredictable and aggressive sharks there is, next to the mako shark and the white shark and the sand sharks. And there were 12 of them in that lake. And they say sharks, well, the truth of it is sharks and I think they said octopus or octopi, whatever, are the only two sea creatures that can go from salt to fresh.
Right.
And then back again. And so they had come in through the river, through an inlet, to the big lake, to the little lake, because there's lots and lots of fish. And there were no predators. So they were having a field day eating fish and stuff. So not only was there a fin or a couple of fins, there were 12 sharks out there. Yet the government and the business owner, the corporate owners of the golf course kept saying, no, there's nothing. You can go in there and get your ball. If you knock a ball, you can go get it. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. So it turned out to be a total, complete bullshit cover-up. And what my mind's going in a circle. What difference would it have made if they had told the truth and said, well, there's sharks in that lake.
Right.
So
That's no boating accident.
Yeah, don't lie about it. Don't hide it. Just say, yeah, there's sharks in there, so don't go in there.
Right. Public safety and all.
Yeah. Instead, no, there's nothing there. But they didn't go after their balls anymore, because they were that afraid. But that's just another. It was so simple. You just say, yeah, there's sharks. We're doing what we can.
Right.
I
think that would be an attraction, actually. They would make more money because, hey, there are sharks over there. All of a sudden, it's like mini golf, but that's the Shark Tank.
Yeah, well, not only that, you can take sandwiches and ham and bacon and throw in the water and watch the sharks eat. Take a break. All right, mates, let's go over here and watch the sharks eat this. Throw out a ham and the sharks going crazy. All right, back to golf, but whatever. I was telling Gwen yesterday that I was going to boil a bunch of eggs and put them in the refrigerator lined up and draw alien big eyes. 'Cause you know how eggs are. One end's rounded and the other's kind of pointed, so they're kind of oblong. They're not round. And they kind of look like alien heads. I was going to paint like little alien eyes on it, the big eyes, and line up in the refrigerator. But I warned her because I was like, I don't want her to open the refrigerator and look and see all these little heads and freak out, yeah, Marty and I went out alien hunting and collected some heads off the little ones. We couldn't get the big ones, I thought it would be kind of funny, but it's just another one of my weird ass ideas.
Let's make some out of Jell-O.
Damn, dude. You just have to take it that extra step.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then we'll make them Jell-O shots.
Oh.
We'll put alcohol in there.
Nah, dude, I don't do alcohol. I'll do anything but alcohol. I'm so anti-alcohol. It's not even funny, man.
Oh, all
Unless a beer company wants to advertise with us, then fine, whatever. I'll put Heineken in my refrigerator. Hey, anybody want a drink? Here you go. Get the hell out of my house. But
Except the brand that wants to sponsor the show.
Oh, hell yeah. Exactly. My luck would probably be like Meisterbrow,
Maybe Guinness.
or Green Snake, which is a Texas beer. It's like $1.99 a six pack. And, I almost threw up saying that. Ugh. But anyway, now that we've come full circle on our frolic through the field of endeavor and thought, I'm not even sure if that made any sense either.
Well, any last points on marijuana?
Marijuana, good. Alcohol, bad. Does that work?
Yeah.
Well, if people are beginning to recognize, accept, and deal with the fact that marijuana medically is superior to many, many, many pharmaceuticals out there. Plain and simple. We could have had the entire show with that one statement. It's a fact. Dr. Sanjay Gupta came around and said, yeah, it's true. It's real. It happens. And then Dr. Drew came around and said, well, yeah, there are benefits from marijuana. Then Dr. Oz came around, but who really gives a shit what Dr. Oz says, right? But, many surgeons, many universities are using it in burn centers because it's more effective for burn patients than morphine, overall. And seizures and cancers. It's a real deal. And the sad thing about it is that thousands of years ago, when they were using opium from opiate plants, from the oriental poppies, and marijuana, they were medicines. In the Civil War, the medic's kit, a medic, and whether he's Confederate or Union, in their kit, they had, of course, morphine for people getting their legs blown off with a 72 caliber musket ball. But they also had concentrated chamomile for anxiety and panic. They had marijuana, and they had pure opium that was used as plug type stuff. And that was part of their medical kit, a military medical kit. And people knew what the benefits were. And then somewhere between the early 1900s and now, people said, no, we can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. You can smoke all the damn cigarettes you want. You can drink until you shit yourself. It's all good, but you can't mess with this stuff. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. But in the immortal words of Ben Harper, try it, and you'll see for yourself. As long as you're of legal age and you can do it legally. Okay? Simple. Try it. If you don't like my fire, then step away from me. Plain and simple. So you're just staring at me, Marty. What?
No, I think that's the perfect ending.
Well, thank you for joining us here on After Dark with Dr. Mike. Our website, which Marty has beautifully designed, which will be called After Dark Dr. Mike. There will be no with in there because some cretin stole that title. I don't know why. But it's After Dark Dr. Mike. Will be coming up soon. And it's pretty awesome. Totally
it's also awesome. After Dark Dr. Mike on YouTube.
Oh, yes. Damn, I'm glad you said that. Because we have, there's Glue, Glue with Marty Muniz, Muniz, which is a guest talk show that Marty was doing and is doing. And then there'll be After Dark with Dr. Mike, you said?
No, After Dark Dr. Mike.
Okay, After Dark Dr. Mike on YouTube that Marty's doing. And then, of course, the actual website.
That's right.
It'll be afterdarkdrmike.com.
That's right. All comes together.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, hopefully next week we'll be getting back into some of the weird, strange, bizarre, and macabre things that made this show famous to begin with. And just go from there.
And make sure you subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Definitely subscribe and like. And also on Facebook, same thing. But once the cameras are set up, we'll actually have shows that you can watch from these haunted places and graveyards and talking to occultic figures and witchcraft type people. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be back to where it was. So thanks for listening. And we look forward to seeing you again when Marty gets another one on the air. Thanks, Marty.
You're welcome. We'll see you next time.
Bye.